My husband makes promises but never follows them through, so I end up doing everything myself, and I'm starting to realize I married the world's laziest man. Original poster, you/sensitive elastic. My husband and I have had a rocky relationship. It's been 3 years since we got married, and I always hoped it would get a bit easier. I feel like we've tried a lot of different things to improve our relationship, but I often find myself feeling defeated and sad because it seems like nothing will ever change. Right now, we're in the process of moving. I stayed behind to finish things up at our house, and he's gone ahead to start working. We're literally starting from scratch. I sold everything, including our cars. We have to have a car, so I asked him to buy one and have it ready for us once I'm ready to move. He's met me with so many excuses, and I'm just tired. I'm finally flying to meet him next week, and there's still no car. It's been a month. He mentioned to me offhand the other day that he was planning on buying a car once I fly in, but doesn't that defeat the purpose? All I asked was that he have one ready for when I arrived. I really don't want to go car shopping the second I get off the plane. I was excited and hopeful about the move. We talked about how things were going to change, and he seemed so motivated. But now I feel defeated again. I don't even feel angry anymore. What was I expecting? I'm not sure what advice I'm looking for. We get along pretty well when there aren't any big life decisions involved. He's a nice guy, I just don't trust him to take any responsibility in the relationship. I guess, has anyone been in a similar relationship? How did it go? When was it finally enough for you? Is there anything that can change? I'm really interested in starting couples therapy, but I'm afraid of putting effort into something that might not even work. Relevant comments. Comment 1. Hoping things get better almost never works. You said you had taken steps to improve things, does that include counseling? If so, it is important to note that he has to want things to improve for them to get better. Based on the example behavior you provided, he sounds lazy, and I doubt he wants to improve your relationship. Comment 2. It's called weaponized incompetence. Look it up. And either he learns to step up, or you can dump his stinky ass. Comment 3. Regardless of the specific issue, it all really boils down to what you want for yourself and your marriage. Couples counseling is basically like any other form of counseling, it can only work if you actually want it to. If you are already at your wit's end and just don't have it in you to continue putting in effort to maybe not save your marriage, then there obviously isn't any point in pursuing couples counseling. If you still want the marriage to work out, then couples counseling would be a good idea as a last-ditch effort. Personally, I think that if you married someone you had a rocky relationship with all along in the hopes of having things magically change in the future, then you basically set yourself up for failure, and this is what you are experiencing more and more. You're only 26. You have your whole life ahead of you, and there are plenty of people in the world who won't give you the feeling that you are basically carrying the relationship alone. Update 1. Hi all, thanks for commenting. Everyone has been really helpful so far. There was a time that my husband wouldn't help out with chores or bills. I was cooking, cleaning, and working full-time while he got to play games. I do think he's gotten better, but there are a lot of times that I still feel like I do more. I'm trying to be patient, I know people don't change overnight, it's just hard. I think I still have some hurt feelings from this time. Looking at it now, I think I believe that if I asked him to do something more important, maybe he'd take it more seriously and be excited to contribute. I realize that it's a big decision, but I've always been willing to talk about the financials and other details about the purchase. I think I would have really appreciated seeing his effort in taking over this decision. I've talked to him since posting this, and we've gone over some more details about the purchase. He's actually made an appointment to start looking for cars. I'm still not 100% sure if it's purely an anxiety thing or if he's just coasting along with me, but I'm planning on organizing my thoughts and talking openly about how this has made me feel once we're together. Thanks again. I've been thinking a lot about this situation, and I appreciate it. Update 2. Hi everyone. I made a post 3 years ago about my husband not taking the initiative when it came to purchasing a new car after a big move. My post didn't get too big, but I've always liked seeing updates, and a lot has changed in 3 years. So, I decided to log back in and make my own. After making the post, my husband had made an appointment to go look at cars. I remember feeling really good about everything in that moment. I felt a huge relief knowing that this big thing was finally getting taken care of. When his appointment came, my husband called to tell me some good news. He had seen one car, decided it was good, and told me that this was the one we would be buying. While he was still at the dealership, I asked him to tell me the details, like how much the interest was and how much the car cost. I asked him if he had compared it to Kelley Blue Book to see if it was a fair deal. My husband was kind enough to ask the salesman everything, but after each question, he would add, "I'm sorry my wife is making this so difficult." I was pretty hurt and embarrassed by this and told him so, but he said all my questions were frustrating and were slowing down the process of the one thing I had asked him to do. In the end, he decided to wait for me to arrive so that we could sign for the car together. I ended up getting picked up from the airport and taken straight to the car dealership. We got a good interest rate on the car, but we ended up overpaying by about $7,000. I should have said no to the car and just looked myself, but I was young and embarrassed, and I felt like I wasn't being supportive. Thankfully, that car ended up being our only shared piece of property in our divorce. I didn't trust him to refinance the car, so I ended up taking it. We owed so much more money on the car than it was worth that I couldn't get it refinanced for several months. I ended up trading it in, and even though I'm still in the hole financially because of it, I am so much happier now. We did try therapy before ultimately divorcing. My ex-husband was quite the prodigy. He was cured, his words, not mine, after a week. He said that he had it all figured out and didn't see the point in continuing. He also told me that he was the only one who had ever put any effort into the relationship, and that it was 100% my fault that we were divorcing. He told me that no one would ever love him again if I left, and that he might as well off himself because there was no point in going on. When that didn't work, he said that no one would ever love me again and that I was lucky that he had stayed around as long as he did. He then asked me if I would forge his signature on the divorce documents because I was basically forcing him to do it anyway. I did not. Anyway, I'm happy to report that he was successfully able to move on from the trauma I apparently put him through. He's still around, but I've kept my distance because I can't be bothered, so I'm unsure of what he's up to. I was able to find someone after some time. My boyfriend is so kind. Sometimes I feel like it's too good to be true. Then again, I get Twitter-pated when he does simple things like taking out the trash, cooking, or maintaining a full-time job, so the bar is in hell. He's a great guy, and he does more than the bare minimum, I promise. Looking back, I knew that I wanted a divorce. I just wasn't ready to admit it. My ex-husband didn't love or respect me. I didn't put many details of the relationship in my first post, and I don't really feel the need to put it all out there now, but I know now that if someone truly loves you, they make sure you know. Thanks, everyone. You were right.